9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome again to Tamara Simon's Live, the Real Estate Power Chat. And today we have none other than Jeff Morrell with us. And I can't wait for you to get his story. But as everyone knows, first things first.
This is Tamara Simon's Live, where real estate agents from around the globe come together to grow, collaborate, and expand their business. Where we take our inspiring conversations and put them together to create dynamic connections. This is the Real Estate Power Chat.
Nice. I like it. Very nice. It's good to see you.
You too. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Totally appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's good
So
to be
how
on.
is it out there in Colorado Springs?
Colorado, fall is in the air. We feel it at night. We're in the 50s at night, and but business is good. We've been busy. It's definitely a little bit of a shift, but I've been through plenty of shifts in 20 years. So
Yeah, I would say so.
no panic going on over here. We're business as usual. We're moving along. So things are good. Yeah. How you been? Good?
I'm as good as you can get, right?
There you go.
So the market's shifting and we're both in real estate, but let's tell everyone how you actually got in real estate, because that's really kind of a cool story.
It's a journey. It's funny. I'm on my 5th career, I think, at this point. It's a crazy story. So I'm from Indiana, originally born and raised. Graduated from Butler University back in 1986, giving away my age there. And I'll be 60 in October. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that. But anyway, so I graduated from Butler. My senior year, I was working at the CBS television station back there doing TV news. And that was the direction I was going. My senior year, there was a film crew that came to town, and a lot of people probably have seen it if you've been around a while. The movie Hoosiers, Gene Hackman, Dennis Hopper, whatever. So here comes this film crew to Indianapolis, and they come into the radio TV department there at Butler University. We had a Monday meeting every Monday, and they said, hey, they spoke for like 5 minutes. We're coming into town. Here's this movie we're doing, Indiana basketball. A lot of crowd scenes. We need help. If you want to come work with us, you're hired. Here's the number. Give us a call. And so I had a pretty loose schedule. This was my senior year. So me and it was probably about 10 of us or so that signed on and just did it, worked for free. But it was an amazing experience. I love the movies ever since I was, 5 years old probably. And so really great time working on that movie. The first assistant director on that movie, when they left, we finished filming right before Christmas that year, 1985. And he told several of us, like, hey, you guys have been great. If you want to come out and go to work, I'll put you to work. Just let me know, whatever. And honestly, it kind of went in one ear and out the other. This is, long before the internet, long before cell phones. Indiana might as well be another planet from California, And so anyway, but we graduate, me and a couple of buddies of mine, we decided, let's go give it a shot. I remember I called Herb, the director that I knew out there, and just said, hey, were you serious? If we come out there, could you put us to work? He's like, yeah, get out here. So June 10th, 1986, we packed up the car, drove nonstop to LA. It was like, we got there on Thursday afternoon about 5 o'clock. We literally just 3 of us shifting seats. One drives, one keeps the driver awake, one sleeps, then we rotate. And we did this all the way to California. And I get out there and start working in the film business. Did that for, about 10, 11 years, all through 1986 to, 93, 94, whatever it was. Became a Christian out there, started going to church, became a Christian, and met my wife at the church I was going to. We ended up getting married, and the church was growing a lot. They needed help, and so they asked us to come on staff. It was an easy decision for me. I went from making $1,000 a day in the film business to making $2,000 a month. It wasn't about the money. I love working with the people. I do. I love working with people, love getting in there. Everybody's got a story. I could learn from everybody out there. I can learn from the 15-year-old if I sit down and have a conversation with a cup of coffee. There's just things experiences that people have had that I haven't had. And so I love getting in there with people. My wife and I did that for about 7-8 years out there. And then we have 2 daughters. They were 4 and 1 when we just decided it was time to make a move. We're living in Los Angeles. We have no family out there, whatever, and wanted to get the kids closer to family. So it was either going to be Indiana, where I'm from, or here in Colorado Springs, where her dad lived here and his family. And so we'd been here to visit a couple of times, loved it here, and decided to make a move to Colorado. So moved here December 99. And, I started working with my father-in-law. He's a real estate developer. Had no idea what I was going to be doing when I got here, but he and I were out walking one day, and he's like, I don't know what you're thinking about doing, but this cell phone strapped to my hip, I'd love to give it to you. And I want to travel more. And he's a great photographer, does all kinds of photography, beautiful photography. So like nature stuff, whatever. And so, he put me on a salary. I worked with him for a couple of years. 9/11 hit, and all his projects just came to a screeching halt. They just froze. So that's when I went and got my license to do residential sales. So January 2002, started doing that. And, from there we went. I kicked it off pretty hard. I remember when I was in real estate school and I saw, the average realtor does 6 deals a year. And I'm like, 6 deals a year? Like,
yeah,
what is that? Like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, which I've just always been that way. Like whatever, like I want to be the best, whatever. And so it was about 6 months after I got licensed, I went to a conference in Phoenix. The broker I was working with, good friend of mine, I didn't interview anywhere else. I went to work with this guy. Great guy, great. It was a great experience to get started with, but he was very old school. His idea of getting leads was, okay, here's the white pages. I'll start in A, you start in Z. We'll meet in the middle. I'm like, oh my God, we're cold calling. I'm knocking on doors, all this stuff. And anyway, I had a website that I got through this program because I just knew I didn't want to do that, And so I had this website going. It was all through Craig Proctor's program. And so Craig at the time was like the number 1 RE/MAX agent in the world. So I went to his seminar in Phoenix 6 months after I got licensed, and I'm there with, literally some of the biggest and best agents in the country. I mean, these guys doing $1 million, $2 million a year, mega agents, big teams, whatever. And they're all talking about this coaching program for the 3 days I'm there. And I knew I had to be a part of that. I learned a long time ago, you become who you hang around. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to get in there. So I buckled down. I put $14,000 on a credit card because I couldn't afford that. I'm brand new in the business. Put it on a credit card. I joined his program. I was part of that for 9 years. And within 2.5 years, I was in the top 20 here in Colorado Springs out of about 4,000 agents or so. So, my first year I did 32 deals, primarily because of that program. I did about 50 my second year. I did 72 my third, and it about killed me. I mean, it was ugly at that point. I mean, it was all me by myself. My wife was helping me a ton at that point. I mean, she's loading the kids in the car, unlocking doors for me to meet the inspector because I'm running late. And I mean, I'm just flying all over the place,
That's a lot of deals for one agent.
Oh my gosh, I had no life. I'm screwing up deals, missing deadlines. I mean, it was ridiculous. And so anyway, she ended up getting licensed that next year, 2005. And we left the independent company I was at, went to Keller Williams. And for 5 years there, we built a team over there. We had the number 1 Keller Williams team here in town out of 5 different offices that are here with Keller Williams. So did very well over there. I left there in 2005. I mean, no issues with the company at all. Great company. I just wasn't using anything that they offered. I had all my own websites, tools, systems, everything. And I'm paying $21,000 a year.
To do.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, what am I getting for my money? Like I'm a red business card and a nice logo. I mean, I wasn't doing anything with them. So I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do it. So we went back, we took our team, we moved back to an independent company here. And it was basically a 100% company, $300 transaction fee, $50 a month. And it worked great for us. I was there for 7 years and I really thought I would ride out my career there. Sean Sturrock, a good friend of mine, I've known Sean for 11, 12 years now. He reached out to me January 2018, asked me to take a look at eXp. And I said, I'll look. There's no way I'm moving. Not going back to the big companies. Been there, done that. Not interested. But I think it's good to know what's out there. If somebody called me today to look at something, I would go look at it because you don't know what you don't know. The people that are just so closed-minded to not look at anything, I'm like, come on, like open up a little bit. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you don't know.
Right.
And so I told him, there's no way I'm moving. And I looked at it and a week later we made a move. I mean, I was shocked when I saw this thing. I really was. It made too much sense to me. So anyway,
Well,
there's my,
I think
long
that's the
story.
way it is. I think that's the way it is. If people will realize that honestly, we're not reaching out and saying, we're going to hog tie you and you have to sign on the dotted line.
Not at all.
We're just sharing something with them that's an opportunity that makes sense to us. It may make sense to them.
Sure. I tell people, look, it may be right for you, it may not be right for you. I honestly don't know why it wouldn't be right for somebody, but I think it's got to be the right timing. There's different situations out there, whatever. But again, I just tell people, like, look at, it's free to look. Just look. You don't know what you don't know. Well, my broker said this and this and this. I'm like, well, no. Has your broker really seen it? Has your broker ever had it personalized for them? Probably not.
Right.
They're going off what they heard from somebody else or what they saw online. Look, if I want to buy a Ford pickup truck, do I go to the Chevy dealer and ask them questions about that truck? No, I go to the Ford dealer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Chevy dealer is going to talk me out of that truck. He's going to say all the bad things about Ford and talk me into the Chevy truck.
Absolutely.
And that's what's going on out there right now. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. Go to the source, go to Tamara, come to me, go to somebody that that's part of eXp and just look, show me this model, show me the presentation, help me break it down for myself, and then decide if it's for you or not. If it's not, that's okay. That's fine. Great. At least you know what you're saying no to.
Absolutely.
So many people, they don't. They're just going on, what they think it is, and it's different than anything they've ever seen before.
Well,
I was blown away when I saw this.
That's the whole thing, because I had been approached numerous times, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And just because I had listened to all the negative, going, oh, it's
Sure.
multi-level, it's this, and I was like, okay, I'm just not going to do that. Yeah. Well, then it only took actually sitting down and watching it, and then I was like, what the hell did I wait so long for?
Yeah.
Totally. This is nothing that I was told.
Yeah.
And I think that's the misconception is people think they know what it is. But in reality, unless they're, they've actually seen it, it's actually been, step by step to, exactly what this is. Because it's not just a recruiting system. It's an actual brokerage. No. You actually become a business owner in the true meaning of a business owner. You become one.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki, and I don't know if you've read any of his books or not, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, of course, the number one, I think, all-time best-selling book in personal finance. Most of his income, I think, came through real estate. It's a great book. I read that years ago. Well, his second book was called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And I would tell people to read that book. I read that book back, I don't know, I was at Keller Williams at the time, it was years ago. And I've got it back here on my shelf. I mean, I've got a page folded over, highlighted, because it's the thing that changed everything for me. He asked this question: are you a business owner? And I'm thinking, yeah, I got my real estate business. I got my team. Here's my assistant on payroll. Here's my inside sales guy. Here's my 5 agents working with me. Here's my 14 grand a month in marketing costs and overhead and all the things I'm doing, whatever. I got my real estate business. And then he says, okay, here's the test. Can you walk away for 1 year with no contact whatsoever, come back a year from now and your business is still there, or it even grew without you being there? If you can answer yes to that, you're a true business owner. If not, you own a job, a glorified job. And I was depressed for a month. I'm like, oh my God. I had not built it the right way. I mean, there's no way. I could not leave without keeping in my business. I could not get away without at least being on the phone several times a day, putting out fires, taking my laptop with me, all this kind of stuff I had to do whenever I would leave. No matter where we went, whether it was Disney World or Ireland or whatever, I was still tied to my business, in that sense. And I just knew I couldn't, leave for a year. I couldn't leave for a week. It would not run without me. And that was a wake-up call for me. I realized I've got to build this thing differently. It just, to have a true business. I wanted a business. I wanted a business that I could step back from. And I talk to people all the time. They think what's your goal 5 years from now? Oh, I want to have a team and they're doing all the work and I'm on the beach. It's not going to work that way. It will not work that way. I promise you. I built a team thinking I would be leveraged with my time. And it did leverage me to some degree, but nothing even close to what I thought it would do. I was busier than I've ever been. I still was doing 40, 50 deals a year myself. whatever. Now we were doing 180, 190 as a team, which was great, but I'm on vacation and we took our kids to Disney World. I remember they were 10 and 8. Now they had the time of their lives. We were there for 10 days. We did it up. We stayed at the biggest hotel down there, had a great time. It was awesome. But I remember 4 days in particular, sending my wife to the park with the kids. I'll call you when I get there, because what's Dad doing? I'm in the hotel room with my laptop till 4:00 in the afternoon, putting out real estate fires back here in Colorado Springs. I'm not on vacation.
Yep.
I just moved my office to Orlando.
Yep.
That's all I did. And I'm stressed out of my mind. I remember standing in line for a ride. Like, we're next to get on the ride. I'm on the phone. The kids are like, Dad. I'm like, let them go past, whatever. Hold on just a minute. When I'm trying to wrap up this call, and we're letting people go ahead of us to get on next in line on the ride. And now I finished the call. Now we go. My kids are looking at me like, what the heck is this? Like, they don't understand that.
Yeah.
They just don't get that. To a kid, whatever. Love is spelled TIME for a kid, and they don't understand that, they just don't get that.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, like that made me crazy, and
I think we miss too much, when we emphasize, put all of the emphasis into, this is our career, this is what we're going to do. And, we're putting out those fires. But the reason that we're doing that job is what we're losing out on. Yeah. All of that time. Totally. And kids, they grow so fast, they're gone before you know it. Right.
Oh, much. I mean, my kids, they were 6 and 3 when I started, and they're 26 and 23 now, and man, it's a blink. Yeah. I remember something that really hit me, just to share this, Tamara, like I remember my oldest daughter, she was 16, and I remember this because this is what hit me. I was on the phone catching up with a friend of mine in California, and we hadn't talked for, I don't know, it was probably a year and a half. And we reconnected and called him up, and we're just sitting there on a Saturday afternoon. We're talking, and we're catching up on the kids and stuff. How old are you kids? Oh, Jasmine's 16, Britton's 13. And here's what he said. He said, wow, you got 100 Saturdays left. And that hit, I was like, I'm like, oh, wow. Like 2 years left. Really, she's 18. Now she's off to college and on her way, whatever. I've got 100 weekends left with her. Yeah. And that hit, I hadn't thought about it that way. I'm thinking, I got 2 years and whatever. And but it's not, it goes so fast, I heard something here just a couple of weeks ago. I saw this, it was a video that I saw. I think I was scrolling around Facebook or something. And it was like this interview going on, kind of like what we're doing. But somebody said, here's like your parents. How old are your parents? The guy said, well, my dad's 80, my mom's 78. He said, how often do you see your parents? Well, a couple times a year. We make it back. They lived in another state. We make it back. We can go visit. And he said, wow, think if your dad lives to be 85, you've got 10 visits left. And it's like that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, if we think about it in this perspective, it's like, we don't think that way. We think we have all the time in the world, whatever, but I want to make the most of that time. And I think that's the thing I love about this model and what we're able to do here. If I can get paid multiple ways for what I'm going to be doing anyway, my real estate business, and make more money doing it. And now I can start maybe pulling back a little bit on production, but I actually get paid more than is if I was doing more production. Now I can start freeing up some of my time and actually maybe even take a couple weeks and leave this thing off if I want to. Like, I have that ability now to do that. And that's changed everything for me.
Well, and that's the option that we're given, that's one of those options. And it was one of the key pieces for me, because I didn't realize that once I got here, just what this collaboration that everyone talked about was, until I got inside the community of eXp. And then I was like blown away. Totally. Completely blown out of the water. I mean, there's numerous things that I love about this business, but the collaboration,
huge,
there's nothing like it
on a nationwide level. That's the thing. I mean, it's just, because I love the agents here. We got great agents in Colorado Springs. We really do. I mean, I love the different events that I go to and agent events and different things, whatever. But, like with my team, I mean, and I tell people all the time, like, look, if, I don't know, one of the title companies is having a training and it sounds good, go to that training. Our MLS board, go to that training, whatever. plug into things here locally, but you're getting the best of Colorado Springs. That's awesome. Well, here I can plug in on a nationwide level. I'm going to trainings here. We're going to trainings here now it's virtual, but I'm getting trained by literally the best agents, not just at eXp, but in the business.
Yes.
Huge agents, number one at their former brokerage, big, huge broker owners that are now over here that are now training and doing different things and giving away all their stuff. That collaboration is beyond anything I've ever seen in my 20 years of doing this. It's weird because it's a virtual brokerage, and some people are like, oh, I did, like that's just, they don't understand how that could work. I think we've all gotten a little more accustomed to that the last couple of years, how it could work, with COVID and everything. But I think too, it's like, man, I've got more relationships now with realtors than I've ever had in my 20 years, which is just like, that's odd, because we're a virtual brokerage, but it's the honest to God's truth. I mean, it's so powerful. And that mastermind concept that goes on all the time here on a daily basis with agents from across the country and even now going to other countries around the world, it's unbelievable. And how does that not take your business up to whatever level you want to take it to? That's what it can do.
Because you're surrounding yourself. I prefer to be not the smartest person in the room.
Sure. You're in the wrong room.
I like to be, the dumbest person there.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And
I love sharing and pouring out to things, but I want to be around people that are way above me so I can elevate myself as well. I mean, character wise, business wise, thinking wise, all that kind of stuff.
And that seems to be what's there. I mean, each room I get into and I'm just blown away at the information that's provided. Yeah. In fact, you even do a mastermind each week for agents as well.
We do a mastermind every Tuesday morning. We had one this morning. It was powerful. I mean, the guy that led the mastermind this morning, he's been a realtor for 35 years. He's owned 5 franchises. He had a real estate school, a mortgage company, whatever. And he got on this morning and we masterminded for an hour with about 40 of us on there. And it was all about lead generation. And he went through a list of things. I mean, I've got 2 pages of notes down on the floor. I've been doing this 20 years. I was writing, throwing things out. I talked to my wife afterwards, like, oh my gosh, you got to watch the recording of this. It was amazing, but that's something we do for our group every Tuesday. It's open to all agents everywhere. Anybody can come to that. We don't talk eXp at all. It's all about helping agents with their production. That's goal number 1. Right. Help agents get to where they want to get to in their business. New agents, seasoned agents, whatever. What are your goals with your business? Let's help you get there. That's what we do. All these other things on the side that are nice.
That's always been my thing, is helping others completely, whatever they need. If I have it and it's working, I'm happy to share. And I've been ridiculed by other agents for that. Why would you hand out your secrets? Well, now I don't get that, because everyone's handing out whatever it is that lifts you up to the next level, that, get you where you want to go.
There's a shift in the way we think here, because when we're all owners of the company, because that stuff, that NASDAQ traded stock that we get as bonuses, every agent here becomes an owner. With every closing we have, you gain more ownership in the company. So yeah, I want you to succeed. Anything I can do to help you in your business, I'll do it. Anything I can do to help the agent, like right here in Colorado Springs, I will share everything I got with those agents to help them do better in their production, because we all win with that. Yeah. And when I will say this, when I was at Keller Williams, I trained over there. I trained probably a dozen times. I don't know. And I love doing it. I really do. I love sharing things, pointing things out. But I will tell you, and again, it's probably not right, but I'm not going to give away everything, because I am training my competition. Mm-hmm. And I remember 2008, my goodness. I mean, we were doing everything we could to find the deals, Oh
yes.
And so I'm not going to give it all away. I'll give some away, but I'm paying, at that point, I was paying $20,000 a year to be part of that coaching program. I'm not going to give all it away. Like, you can go to training, you can sign up for that coaching program, whatever, but you want me to come in here and just give it all away for free, so that all the agents do better. How's that help me? Not at all. I'm training my competition. It helps the broker. I get that. The more deals that we get, yeah, that's great for him. Doesn't help me, Now here, I'll give it all away. Because the better you do, the better all the agents do, the better our stock does, the better our brand does, the more agents that want to join us. It's a win across the board. So everybody here is sharing things at a level of collaboration that I've never seen before. It's amazing.
Well, and the training, I mean,
Oh, phenomenal.
each week, because I'm a certified mentor, so I mentor new agents as they come in, and absolutely love working that program. I don't know of another brokerage that offers that program. Um, but one thing that I thought was really cool is you go in there and there's probably 20 or 30 different classes going on in a day.
Oh, every day.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm like, I could live in front of my computer going to classes, 7 days a week.
Yeah. Very
But
true.
that's just how much training is involved.
Yeah. Way more than you'll ever sit in on, for sure. But love having all those options. It doesn't cost any extra. It's all just there,
Yeah.
part of your monthly bill here, which is next to nothing. So, no, it's awesome. That piece is all good. So, yeah.
Now, when you moved, just kind of backpedaling here a bit, but there's because you was at 100% brokerage
Yeah.
before you moved over to EXP. Was there something within the 100% brokerage that didn't work for you that EXP kind of filled that need?
I mean, you get what you pay for. I mean, at that point, I wasn't, I had all my own stuff going. So it wasn't like they provided really anything that I can remember. I think maybe they had a company website or something, but I had all my own stuff. I never plugged into any of it, so I wasn't really looking for something necessarily with that. I think when I saw this though, I'm like, wait a minute, like I saw a way to get, like even at 100% company, $300 a transaction and $50 a month, it was still costing me, I don't know, 9-10 grand a year to be there, which
Right.
is good. That's fine. It's nothing wrong with that. Like over here, I'm paying 16,000 a year. That's what we pay here. Right. But I get it all back. I've gotten it all back every year here, plus some. I've been over 100% here since I've been here. Now I know there's people out there listening to this go, well, that's impossible. No, we'll show you how. And the company, look at the numbers with the company. I'm telling you, look at the quarterly earnings coming out. It's all legit. It's all for real. We wouldn't be on the NASDAQ if it wasn't. None of these big agents would be moving over here if it wasn't for real, wasn't working.
Right.
Nothing to be skeptical about. Just see the model and understand how it works. They can afford, between the stock bonuses, and then for me, I do get some revenue share with the company, which is owners of think about this, wherever you are right now at a brokerage, here's a broker owner who gets paid off all the closings that they have. And if it's a franchise, he gets some of that. Some of it goes up to the franchise, up to the name brand of the company, Remax, Keller Williams, whatever. It goes up to pay all these people up the line. Okay. That commission check that comes in, here's that split that happens. And all that money goes up there. Okay. Well, here we're broker owners. We're not broke. We're owners of the company with that stock. I'm not a broker owner. I don't want to be a broker. Right? I don't want the liability. I don't want the responsibility. I don't want the headaches. None of that stuff. I don't have to have all that, but I get the same benefits. I can share in the revenues coming in to the company, and there's options here to do that. So I've been able to take advantage of that. And between that and the stock, it's got me way over 100%. They're paying me to be here at eXp. And I'd never seen that before. So when I really wrap my head around all that, I'm like, wait a minute, like, okay, what am I doing? I'd never seen something like this ever. It's never existed before in this business, And so one of the things when I saw this 4 years ago, I'm like, what do I have to lose? It looks like I have a whole lot to gain. I'm like, let me go over there. I'll give it my all for a year. I'll see what happens. If it doesn't work the way, I'm not locked in here. I can go back to where I came from. They'll take me back, and I'll probably have leveraging power. I'll have negotiating power when I go back, whatever. I mean, so I'm like, but what do I have to lose? And if it doesn't work, I'll go back. But I was like, I don't want to miss it. What if this thing does what I think it could do? And I'll be honest, it's done way, way beyond what I ever imagined it would do in 4.5 years. I can't imagine where we're going to be 4.5 years from now.
Yeah.
I'm more excited now than I was 4 years ago. I'm just telling you, it's unbelievable what's going on here.
Well, and we're growing. I mean, I just think we're at 84,000 agents and there's no stop in sight. I mean, we're just going to continue to grow.
Yeah. We're about 5,000 roughly, I think, when my wife and I made the move over here. I was the 13th agent here in town to join. No, EX what? EX who? Nobody'd heard of this thing, but yeah, we moved over again. I'm like, I'll take a shot on it. I have nothing to lose. I can keep doing my business and I can always go back, like I said. But I don't know. We're going to hit probably 500 here in the next few months here in town.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's growing like crazy. So yeah, 21 countries now, I think.
Yeah.
22, something like that. you know?
Well, and I
You know,
think just in the
it's
short time
powerful.
I've been here, we've, grown to like 3 or 4 countries just in the short amount of time that I've been a part of eXp, which just blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I would
Just
just tell people that are out there, anybody listening, like, just, I know you've got pain points in your business. We all do. And
mhm,
this isn't the magic pill by any means. I mean, we still
right.
have, headaches and things we got to deal with in our business and all kinds of stuff. Tons of support. I've never seen support like this, which again is amazing. But I love the fact that I'm like, man, there are pain points out there. Maybe maybe you can relate to that vacation story, being on vacation and not really being on vacation, stressed out because you know what you're coming back to, a mountain of craziness, fires to put out, whatever, missing time with your kids, all that kind of stuff. And that's so important. It's just, I preach it from the rooftops. I mean, I just tell those stories. I mean, that time is something that we can't replace. It's the most valuable thing we have.
Oh,
And we
absolutely.
all live as if we're going to live forever, and none of us will. The lights could go out anytime. None of us, we don't think about that. I don't dwell on that. But again, it's like life happens. You got this going across the bottom here. Life happens. 7 years ago, I got diagnosed with prostate cancer. Now, we caught it early. Grateful for that. Had surgery, clean bill of health ever since. Thank God. But I will tell you, for 6 months, we had no closings for 6 months on purpose. We just didn't have to think about the money piece of that because we had income coming in from another business that we have, passive income, rental properties, whatever. Like we were set up well enough to where, okay, it's going to be a little tighter maybe, but
Mhm.
we're not stressing out on how we're going to pay the bills. The bills were covered. So we could focus in on me healing up, focus in on the kids, focus in on our marriage, family stuff, just take the foot off the gas, ease up here. We're going to be fine. Get through all that. Now go back to work our way back in, and everything's fine. Whatever. So the power of residual income, I preach that. We don't get it. Most people don't get it. Michael Jackson's kids are richer than he ever was.
For sure.
Thriller is playing somewhere right now on the radio, and his kids are going to get a check for that. I mean, that's how it works with residual income. Authors get it, writers get it, actors get it. Singers get it. Whatever. Insurance agents, they build a big enough book of business. Every year you renew your policy, they get paid on that. Whatever. So,
Yep.
but most of us, whatever. How much money are you making on all the homes you sold last year? Close your eyes. Nothing. You're not making anything off those homes. You might get a referral or two, which is great, but that's it. You're out looking for the next deal.
Well, and I
Whereas
think
here,
you're always out looking for the next deal. I mean,
right,
that's the
never
way
ends.
you've always been trained in a traditional style brokerage
Yep.
is you're always, out there building business 3 months out, 3 months
Yep.
out. That's just the name of the game.
Mhm.
And I mean, I was talking with an agent the other day, and one of the people on their team that actually actually put their whole team together is 82 years old and still
Wow.
selling real estate.
It's one thing to do it
I
because
know
you
what
love
it
it and you want to do it. I hear you. But I see realtors out there doing it because they have to do it.
Mhm.
They just weren't set up to have a way out. I've never been to a realtor retirement party. I've been to realtor funerals, but I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
been to. I say that. I mean, I'm like, it's sad, but that's just how it is. I used to dread Januaries. I mean, our team would do all this business. We're winning all these awards. Top 2% of this, and I've got stuff up here on the shelf up here collecting dust. But anyway. But where am I at January 1st? I mean, I'm right back at zero, having to do it all over again. And that's okay when you're in the early stage and you're building a business. And it's exciting and it's fun. I'm just telling you, after a while, though, it's like, oh my goodness, here we go again.
Yeah.
And here we go again. And
Yeah.
here
The
we go again. And it's
hamster
just,
wheel that never quits moving.
yeah. In the meantime, my kids are, next thing you know, now they're 16 and 13, and now they're 19 and 16. And now it's just whatever. It's like, it's a blink.
Yeah.
Whatever. Or so again, life happens. Life's going to happen to everybody listening to this in one way, shape, or form or another. Hopefully not health, but for some it will be health. For some it will be a family member's health that you really want to go spend time with, but you're tied to your business too much that you can't get away to go spend the kind of time with them that you want to. There's going to be things like that. There's going to be turns in the business, in the economy that's out of our control. Life happens. And most people, they're just not ready for it. I'd rather have a backup plan and not need it than need it and not have it.
Absolutely.
And again, so I've had multiple streams of income for a long time, and there's just a peace of mind with that. You sleep at night. I haven't stressed at all with this shift in the market. I see this panic on Facebook and realtors and all this stuff. And I'm like, just whatever. The good realtors, you adjust, you get through it. It's all good. But again, it's like, I don't know. I'm getting paid on closings right now in 10 states and 4 countries outside of the US, on top of my own closings like I always have, because of this model. And then we got the whole stock that's built up over here. If I need to cash that out, I could. I mean, there's options there. I'm not losing sleep at all with any of this,
Absolutely.
And most agents, what, a couple, 2-3 months, and they're out of business. That's it. They're done. I mean, they're whatever, scrambling. So,
well, and like with the changing of this market, because it's changing everywhere, and everyone is up in arms over it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I've been here, done this before. I'm sure it won't be as severe as it was the last time I did this.
Yeah.
I
don't think it will, though.
But, to be honest, it's just going to become the new normal. It's actually going to normalize.
Yeah. So I feel like we're going back to like 2018, 2019. Yeah. When you really look at the numbers, at least right now, that's we're lining up more with like, sales and things that were going on then, really, number wise. Right. So anyway, it's all good. But yeah.
Well, I absolutely love that you've spent some time with us and kind of broke down some points in eXp that a lot of people don't understand out there. And just so I don't take up much more of your time today, what is, say, one thing that you would tell someone out there that's sitting on the fence? They like what they see, but they just haven't gotten there yet.
I mean, get your question. Like, if you're a 9 out of a 10, what is that one thing that's stopping you from doing this? Is it just the fear of doing it? Is it just the process of change? I'm comfortable and I don't, I'm loyal to my broker. I'm so loyal. I'm just happy where I'm at. I see it, but I'm just so high. Whatever it is, like, try and get that figured out. Loyalty to your broker will not retire you. It'll retire him. It won't retire you. Whatever. And it's great that you're happy where you are. That's fine. I guarantee you'll be happy over here when you do it. I mean, you talk to any agent over here that's been here for a couple, 2-3 years, I just ask them if they made a good decision. I will tell you, for me, it's the best decision I've ever made business-wise ever. And most agents will tell you that. Ask an agent that sat on the fence for a while like you. Ask them, the ones that are here now, like, do you have any regrets about coming over? Yeah, the thing I regret is I should have done it sooner. And that's what I hear all the time. Yep. I wish I would have done it when Jeff first showed me, instead of waiting 6 months, 8 months. Well, I'm going to wait till the beginning of the year when it slows down. How much is that going to cost you by not being here? How much? And none of us have a crystal ball in the stock. I don't put all my eggs in that basket at all. But I don't know what's going to happen to the stock in the next 6 months. What if it does? What if it shoots up? I don't know, $5-10. I don't know. It could. We've seen it do crazy things in the 4 years I've been here. How much is that costing you in stock bonuses to not be here? How many more deals could you do in the next 6 months by just being around the best agents literally in the business? And what could that do for your business to get you set up for next year? By plugging into the trainings as we start winding down the year and slowing down. Great time to make a move right now. These next few months, as it starts going like this, as we head into fall and winter. Perfect time to get set up over here, learn the new systems. We'll help you with that. It's simple. Once you play, it's easier than you think. The transition can be very smooth right now. Get set up, and now you kick off January and February, and your business explodes. That's what can happen here, and you open yourself up to all this opportunity. And again, what do you have to lose in coming over? That's my thing. That's like, I mean, my goodness, if it's good enough for, the number one Keller Williams agent in Canada to come over, if it's good enough for the number one agent Keller Williams in the world, if it's good enough for the number 2 Coldwell Banker agent in the world who's now here, if it's good enough for the Perry Group, number 1 team in the state of Utah who moved over, if it's good enough, I could go down the list. If it's good enough for all these people, is it good enough for you? Yeah, it probably is. Now, you're not locked in. If you get over here in 6 months or a year later, you say, I think I want to go back to where I was. Great, go back to where you were. Totally good.
Oh, yeah.
Totally good. It's all good. You're not locked in here like anywhere. But again, what is holding you back? Get that question answered. Talk about that. and take a shot and get over here, because I'm telling you, that train is leaving the station. This thing is exploding. I've had 4 people call me in the last 2 months that I didn't even, 2 of them I didn't even know. Never met him. One lives in California. I wouldn't know him if he knocked on my door right now. He reached out to me asking me to show him eXp. That's going to happen more and more and more, because you can't deny what's going on over here at this point. It's just, it's too big and moving too fast. Big things happening. So yeah, get off the fence. The fence is uncomfortable. Get over here where you belong. That's the truth. Oh my gosh. I love it over here. It's been such a recharge for myself and my business. It's so powerful.
I've had less burnout days since I have been with eXp
totally
than I have in my entire career.
Totally. Absolutely. Without question. So being around the right people, and then and again, so much support and help, and you just know you're going places in your business, and then you have all these other options that are coming to you as well for doing what you're doing anyway. It's like, man, why not? Why wouldn't you do that? So,
That's the question.
Exactly.
Well, thank you again for taking time to hang out with me and have a little eXp discussion and hear your great story. So
appreciate it.
Absolutely. But until next time, folks, there we go. Now we can speak. I will see you all on the next one. Thanks again, Jeff.
Cool. Thanks, Tamara.